All right, sixth graders, we've been talking about fractions and what fractions are. And today we're going to talk about fractions and mixed numbers. Okay? So, a mixed number is a number written out with a whole number and part of another whole number. Okay? So it's a whole number with a fraction next to it. A mixed numbers, so this would mean like 2 wholes and a half of another whole. And this is what it would look like. If these were pizzas, these pizzas, these little like Totino's pizzas, you ever seen those pizzas that are like this big? Probably eat one of those just by yourself.
Yes.
Or maybe you have one of them and you have to cut it in half and share it with your brother or sister. So this is, if you cut one of those in half, and if you made another one and cut that in half, and you made another one and cut that in half, and then ate one half, how much would you have left? If you ate this half, how much would you have left?
2 1/2.
You'd have 2 1/2 pizzas. That's all a mixed number is showing how many wholes there are and how many parts of another whole there are. Okay? So we can write this in a number of ways. We can write this as 2 1/2, or we can just write how many pieces we have. How many pieces are there? How many total pieces are there rated?
2. Oh wait, no.
Total pieces.
2.
So there's 2 from each whole. So we'll count them 1,
Oh,
2, 3, 4,
5.
5. There's actually 5 pieces. Here they're written out separately in my really beautiful drawing. Okay? These are burnt pieces. 5 halves. And this is what it would look like if they were still connected to the other half. All right? 5 halves. And we can write that this way. 5 over 2, or 5 halves. Okay? And then if we put those pieces together, we have 2 1/2. Now, here's how we would do the math to figure out going from a top-heavy fraction to a mixed number. You would do 5 divided by 2. Or we would put them into groups of 2. Take all the pieces. We have 5 total pieces. And divide them by 2. So when you are converting those, you're always going to put the top number inside the house to divide it. Then, when you do that, the answer is going to be the number of wholes you could make. And the remainder is going to be the number of leftover pieces. So when we do 5 divided by 2, you get 2. So that's the number of wholes. And you get a remainder of 1. Okay? That's the number of leftover pieces. So the way that you write that as a mixed number then is to write the divisor underneath the remainder. So that it is 2 and then 1/2. This divisor goes here under the remainder. Okay? And then we've converted 5 halves to 2 and 1/2. Converted a top-heavy fraction to a mixed number. Any questions about that? Any questions about taking a top-heavy fraction and converting it to a mixed number? 5 divided by 2. You with me on that? 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times. Remainder 1. And then put the 1 over the divisor 2. 1 over 2. So that is 1/2. 2 and 1/2. Okay? Let's go to your worksheet. Yes?
Then how do you do the opposite?
Well, we're going to talk about that. We would undo the division. How do you undo division?
You multiply.
Multiply, right? If they're cut into halves, and you have 2 wholes cut in half, that means you're going to have 4 pieces from the wholes, and 1 more. So what we do is multiply the whole number 2 times the divisor 2, and then add the remaining piece, 1. What's 2 times 2 plus 1? Abby?
5.
5. How big are the pieces? What is the denominator? 5 what? It's not 5 wholes, it's 5. It's 5 halves. So you would write 5 over 2. You use the denominator as your denominator for the top-heavy fraction. Okay? Let's go to your worksheet and practice. Number 1. For the practice of the first side, where there's the teaching side. The first one given is 4 and 2 somethings.
Fifths.
4 and 2 fifths. 4 and 2 fifths. So imagine this, we got 4 holes, and then you have another pizza cut into fifths, and you have 2 pieces. Okay? And what you're going to do is write this as a total number of pieces that you can make. Alright? So first you take those 4 holes, cut them up into 5 pieces. So that's 4 times 5. How many would you get out of that? 20. Plus the 2 you already had. How many is that total? 22. Now we have 22 pieces cut into fifths. So keep the denominator, 22 fifths. Yeah, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, now I remember.
Now, to show your work, I put the times sign by the denominator and the plus sign by the numerator, and then kind of work in a U shape. 4 times 5 plus 2. Okay? 4 times 5 plus 2. Put the times sign by the denominator, the plus sign by the numerator, and then just follow the path to figure out how many total pieces. Like you're making a U. Okay, so you don't make a U going this way generally.
So you keep the denominator?
You go this way. You keep the denominator as your denominator.
Show question.
So you do 4 times 5 plus 2. Okay? What's the next one? What's number 2? That was number 1. What's number 2 on the worksheet?
3 and 4 sevenths.
3 and 4 sevenths. So put the times sign by the denominator, plus sign by the numerator, This means we got 3 wholes. We cut it into sevenths. That gives us 21 pieces. Add the pieces we already have. 21 plus 4 is 25. Keep the denominator. 25 sevenths. Johnny?
Do we need to show our work? Or
Just
no?
put the times and the plus there.
Can we just do it in our head, or is it necessary that we show it?
Just put the times sign and the plus sign in.
Okay.
Now, skip to the second section. Is it about the second section? Okay, just wait then. Number 7, for example, we're going to convert a top-heavy fraction, 31. We have 31 pieces cut into sixths. So, how many wholes can we make? 5, because 5 times 6 is 30. So here's a shortcut to show your work. You could do 31 divided by 6 is what we're doing. 31 divided by 6, right? Here's a shortcut to show your work. Instead of writing it out this way and writing the 5, I should just put the 5 into the answer. Do 5 times 6 is 30. And then subtract to get the remainder. 31 minus 30 is 1. So that becomes the remaining piece. That's the leftover piece. And then keep the denominator. Okay? I can show my work this way, or I can show it this way. 5 times 6 is 30. Remainder 1. Put the remainder over the divisor. Okay? So either way, I'm showing my work. I know that 5 wholes times 6 is going to give me 30 pieces. That gives me a remainder 1. Keep the denominator. Okay? Question? Randy, you still have a question?
No, I was just gonna ask, do we have to do, I found one more question. Do we have to do the 31 subtracted by 30?
Yes. What's so hard about that?
Extra work.
Extra work. You're already doing that.
Yeah, in our head, you don't have to write it out.
Oh yeah, you have to write it out. Yes, because I can't grade it if it's not written out.
See, that's why I said it's extra work.
It's not extra work.
Oh, okay.
Oh my.
No, it's
God.
not. It's really not.
Okay.
It's extra work to write out.
Let's do one more. 42 divided by 42 pieces cut into sevenths. How many wholes can you make? 6. Oops, I'm sorry. Don't put the fraction bar there. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. Remainder? 0. This is just 6 wholes. If there's no remainder, that means that we can make a whole number with all those pieces. Without any remaining, without any left over. Okay? All right, finish this worksheet for tomorrow.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Even the backside?